actually some good people. I mean, the reason I'm not a total cynic is because I'm a good person. And you'll find that the real cynics are people who aren't good people. People who aren't good people can't even imagine that there are other good people. Yeah, they just consider that the only reason that somebody else isn't screwing them over is because they don't know how to, or they don't have the guts to. Yeah, that's what most people assume when other people behave well. Yeah, and it's not out of goodwill, out of a good character, but it's simply for fear of being caught, fear of retribution, stupidity, and not being able to work out how to screw over somebody. Yeah, this is how most cynical people are, because they're not good people. But let's look at and the people who are scumbags, opportunists, they opportunistically grasp at this idea of for the greater good, and they tell everyone else that what they're doing, and they tell themselves that what they're doing is for the greater good. Yeah, there is no greater good because the greater doesn't exist. It's a concept. It's not a person. The greater has no feelings. The greater can't suffer or feel pleasure. The greater does not exist. Yeah, it's an abstract concept, but it's what people pull out of their pocket anytime they want to justify the most heinous of crimes. It's for the greater good. Yeah, and so I say, well, I'd like to meet this greater. Because they must be really grateful to you that you're working so hard on their behalf. So can you please take me to the greater? I want to talk to them. And they give me puzzled looks. The greater? What do you mean? The greater good. Yeah, so basically, this is how good people get sucked into doing the most evil things. It's for the greater good. Now, most people are opportunistic. You don't need to convince them to do something wrong, as long as they get some benefit from it. You just have to convince them that they will get a benefit from it. That's enough for most opportunists. Yeah, to explain to them, to bribe them, yeah, to corrupt them, to make them think they will benefit personally from doing something bad. And most people will do something bad if they think they can get away with it. Yeah, because the people they're working with are the police, or the government, or organized criminals, And so if people think they can get away with doing something bad and they will benefit, most people will do it. But then there's really good people, the best people, who are often tricked into doing things because they're told it's for the greater good. Yeah, they're promised that we need to do this dirty work in order to realize a bright utopia. They offer them this utopian vision. So you have all these people who are good people acting out of goodwill, doing evil things because the ends, they're told, justify the means. Yeah, the greater good, the visionary utopia that they imagine. Yeah, they're working towards. That sure, we're going to have to torture lots of people and murder lots of people and maybe commit genocide. Yeah, we're okay, but it's for the greater good. The bright, dazzling, amazing future that awaits us. Once we've done all these horrible, dirty, nasty, torturous, monstrous, horrific things to our fellow creatures, the ends will justify the means that we employed. Yes, we will produce the workers' paradise, the utopia. Yeah, and so a lot of good people are tricked into doing evil things because they swallow this idea that the ends justify the means. Never does. And they believe in the utopian vision they're offered. And so, and I keep talking about this in my books and other videos to explain to people why it is that so many people are working for the cult of Judah. Most people don't realize they're working for the cult of Judah. Yeah, they think they're either working for themselves, yeah, opportunistically, yeah, they're benefiting themselves, and that's why they're doing it. They're working for themselves and maybe their families, their own wealth and privilege and prestige and power, yeah. That's why they're working for the cult of Judah, and they don't even realize they're working for the cult of Judah. They just think they're doing some sort of criminal business, yeah. They're just criminals. But there are lots of people working for the cult of Judah who think they're serving communism and a workers' paradise in the future. There are some people who believe they're saving the planet. There are some people who believe they're serving God. Yeah, there are all sorts of narratives that the cult of Judah give people to motivate them. So very few people realize they're serving the cult of Judah. Yeah, they may may believe they're serving some new world order, but each of them is imagining that new world order in very, very, very different ways. So for one person, this new world order is a new world order defined by social justice and equality, and communism. But for some, the new world order is corporatism, is fascism. For some, the new world order is the reign of Jesus. Yeah, Jesus returns, and that's the new world order. Uh, yeah, so for everyone serving the cult of Judah, they're all serving their own idea of what goal they have in mind. They're all serving a new world order which is very different. Yeah, in their mind, the new world order means very different things to all different people. So even though they're all serving the cult of Judah and have been for 3,000 years, most of them believed they were Marxists, or they believed they were Christians, or believed they were Muslims, or believed they were environmentalists, or even believed they were animal rights, activists. Personally, they could have gotten me to work for them if they'd promised me a vegan world, because that's my highest ideal. That's the highest. That's the only form of real justice. And for me, once you veganize the planet, you will solve all the other problems, because the principles involved in veganizing the planet would revolutionize and reform everything. It will be the ultimate reform. But anyway, so keep that in mind, that all the people serving the cult of Judah most of them don't realize they're serving the cult of Judah. They think they're serving some greater good. And they define that greater good very differently depending on who it is. Yeah? Because when you're going to sell a product to people, you have to work out what they want from the product. Because you don't sell a product, you sell people a solution. You sell people the satisfaction of some objective, some desire. You have to work out what they desire. You have to work out what objectives they value. Yeah, you have to work out what ends they have in mind. And so you sell the same product to different people, and you market it differently. Yeah, you sell different things about it. You promise them different things from the same product. One person needs to be promised success with women. One person needs to be promised success with family. One person needs to be promised success with their career, their job. One person needs to be offered success, a spiritual success, yeah? Enlightenment. So you're selling the same product, but you're marketing it differently to each individual. You're promising that this product will deliver different things to different people, because it's not the product that people want, it's the satisfaction of their objectives, yeah, the realization of their ambitions that they want. And they're all using this product as a means towards those ends. So you have to discover what ends they are seeking, and then you have to market your product as being the means towards attaining those ends. Yeah, could be, well, you know what marketing is all about: sell sex and success. So for most products aren't sold on the basis of what the product is, but they're sold the product by associating it with success and sex. Yeah, so people think that by buying the product they're going to get sex and success, and that's why they buy the product. Yeah, and it's no different with ideologies. It's no different with this cult of Judah New World Order. It's no different with this COVID fake pandemic. It's no different with the fake Cold War. It's no different with the fake war on terror. People in the military don't realize they're serving the cult of Judah. There's people in the military who think they're serving America, for example. They're nationalists, yeah? People in the military, maybe. And they think that when they're ordered out on the streets to do something, the motivation they have for doing it, each of them could have very different motivations for doing it. Each soldier could have a different motivation for why they're going to be willing to shoot civilians, yeah? Some of them is for national security, yeah? For some of them, it's religious motive. For some of them, they're working for the UN and they want a new world order, yeah, one world government. So keep this in mind. The cult of Judah manages. It's hard for people to imagine how one cult could coordinate so many different conspirators. But remember, each conspirator believes they are serving something unique. And they are, and the ambition, the goal, the objective they have in serving, in their actions, the meaning they give their actions can be very different for each actor. And even though each each of these conspirators actors are serving the cult of Judah's ambitions. They don't realize they're serving the cult of Judah. They think they're serving some other ambition. Yeah, they think they're serving their own interests. They think they're serving some utopian ideal. Could be Marxist, could be Islamic, could be Christian, could be Catholic, could be environmentalist. Yeah, they all believe they're serving some higher ideal, when in fact they're serving the cult of Judah. And this is how the cult of Judah manages to coordinate so many diverse people who have very diverse ambitions and objectives, who give their actions very diverse meanings. Yeah, and something you really have to get your head around, because this is the cult of Judah's genius. This is how they have managed to bring about. It took them 3,000 years, but that's how the cult of Judah managed to bring about this new world order of theirs. Yeah, and this COVID fake pandemic is just the last phase of that process. And whether it takes, whether they achieve their aims next week or in a month or in a few years, they're on a direct railroad to achieving their aims. They're on the rails. They're on the tracks. Yeah, their objectives are within reach, within the next few years, within my lifetime. Yeah, which could be just 5 years. So by 2025, earlier, a bit later, they will have achieved their aims. Even if the New World Order is not actually publicly announced, even if we don't have a one world government dictatorship openly, in power, we will have a de facto one world government dictatorship. We already do have it. Yeah, and it's just finalizing things. It's just formalizing things. It's just, tidying up the edges. But this is the cult of Judah New World Order, and most of the people who brought it about never realized they were serving the cult of Judah. And I wonder if they'll ever realize they're serving the cult of Judah, because the real power is the power that's never seen. The real power is the power that's hidden from sight, and nobody knows who the real power is. That's the real source of power. And that's why the cult of Judah probably will remain behind the scenes. Yeah, they will operate the de facto one world government dictatorship, but they'll never openly reveal themselves. Or will they? They're very interesting. Something of interest to keep my life interesting while I'm here. Anyway, ciao for now.